Hello and welcome to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, we scrutinize, and we celebrate the rise of Skywalker 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.fun.
I'm Dan Telfer from your mom's dating app. What's up?
Oh, not fun.
That's fun. I'm a really fun stepdad.
Well, thanks for joining us once again, Dan Telfer, for discussing minute 127 of The Rise of Skywalker.
Thank you for having me back.
You are welcome. It starts off with a helmetless Poe Dameron grinning in his helmetless Poe Dameron grinning in his X-wing as he rendezvous with Rey and the Falcon. Each morning on High 94. It ends a minute later with BB-8 rendezvousing with his old pal D.O., who declares the day happy. Dan, were you aware that J.J. Abrams does the voice of D.O.?
Good for him. Great. I remember that. I forgot it. And now I remember again. It's great that someone who loves so little about his job could give himself more jobs.
You want something done right?
You want something done right? Don't actually, J.J. Sorry.
So
Please continue with your breakdown.
One noteworthy thing.
Here's an interesting thing to note.
Okay.
We do see Rey and Poe flying their X-Wings kind of together away from all this with the Falcon. Poe's S-foils in attack position. Rey's not so much because wasn't attacking. She was just driving somewhere. And so Poe was attacking. They're up. Rey just flying around. They're down.
Typical
makes sense.
Toxic male X-piloting.
Oh yeah, he's just ready to attack. He's aggressive and
yeah, very.
But yeah, no, I thought that was a nice touch. That like, oh, it makes sense that they would be different in different positions.
Here's something I don't think is a nice touch.
Oh.
The battle's over and the weather has miraculously cleared up. We have never seen more than one weather dynamic on a planet. What is this? Now it's cloudy at one time and sunny a different time?
That was Sith weather.
Oh, you think he was making that weather? Oh, because lightning. He needs all the clouds.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I'm emo.
Now that the
clouds.
It's all like a beautiful planet, all like a paradise. How did we not see this stuff before? It was evil over everything.
How clouded our vision is.
Yes.
Those weird cultists are like making out now, and like I can finally express my feelings.
I went on Wikipedia and I wanted to see how many casualties did the People's Army suffer during this battle. I figured that we might get a statistic. Okay. If you recall, I think there were 14,000 ships, 14,000 good guy ships plus 1,200 or so Star Destroyers. They don't give specific numbers. They just say numerous X-Wings, numerous Y-Wings. So here's kind of the highlights. Alpha 3, Delta Leader, Tem and Wexley, of course. You'll remember Tem and Wexley. R6D8, I'm assuming was Snap Wexley's droid.
Oh, yeah, could be.
Numerous X, Y, B, and A wings. And here's two shockers for you.
Why you didn't put that in order? X, Y, B. I guess they're in order of appearance. I don't know.
Your mouth's kind of messed up.
I wonder. Anyway, here's the shockers. TV4 destroyed. Yeah. And Nine Nunb, who was piloting the Tantive, dead.
That's right.
That I had that note for this minute too, because that is in the novelization they talk about. In the
hold it up for the
Star Wars Rise of Skywalker Expanded Edition by New York Times bestselling author Ray Carson. They mentioned that at some point that like think of all we've lost, like 9M and the Tantive 4. And I was like, oh, all right, then they did that because they saw it kind of, careening towards the surface of the planet, but no confirmation in the movie. But yeah, 9M.
Goodbye, funny
again.
Man.
The off-screen killing of puppets is rampant in this series.
It's true. They should have had Force Ghost 9 Nunb show up on Tatooine. What's your name? Ray Nunb.
I do love how like have you been busting the novel out this much the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
Man, I there's just so much they should have done instead. There's so many expansive concepts put to paper they didn't put on screen. So much happening off screen. I mean, this is obviously like a false flag operation, right? Like the New Republic shot down their own ships. That's not.
Yeah.
There's nothing really wrong with what the Emperor was trying to do.
Well, this is all part of his plan. This was this was all he knew this was all going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
He had his contingencies in place. He's somewhere out there plotting. I wish there'd been more deaths. I wish we had lost a main character. You know what I mean?
I don't disagree. I normally don't like that stuff, but I think there are too many characters in this movie. They're like the last thing they needed was to introduce more. Like at least in Return of the Jedi, you felt like a lot of those Muppets were background fun characters, and this one it feels like they're trying to make you have an emotional connection to 90 new characters. just knock a few off. Come on.
They introduced all these new Perry. You got Mary and Carrie Russell and Jana and all these people.
Carrie Russell wearing a shovel on her head.
Anyway, but I can't think of who they should have killed. So, Poe seems the obvious one.
Yeah, he was supposed to die in the first one, so might as well. He's living on borrowed time as is.
My favorite. I just want to briefly aside. Carrie Russell. She's in the next minute or the minute after that, right? Not this one.
Yeah,
it's hard to say because there was no dialogue in this minute.
Yeah,
but I'll remind me that I have something to say about that character later.
Okay, we will.
Right.
Can't wait. A little teaser for tomorrow.
I did get something wrong last minute though. This is the minute where it looks like Bespin is about to get speared.
Yes.
Yeah,
and,
we cut around the galaxy.
Yeah. This is the best cinematography in this minute of the ones I'm doing. This is where all the Ralph McQuarrie-esque tableaus show up.
Yeah, so we see the Star Destroyer plummeting past Cloud City, and no indication of how this is supposed to have happened. But having this be episode 9 of the whole series, I feel like this would have been a great time for callback curtain calls. You know what I mean? Like have Lobot and an Ugnaught watching the Star Destroyer go down. Like kind of these characters who we are familiar with. You know what I mean?
The Ewoks didn't really work. I feel like
I was fine with the Ewoks, but I want more of it. I want to see, every plan. I want to see the Kaminoans, I want to see all the aliens on their homeworld with the Wookiees.
It bothered me, like that one of them was supposed to be grown-up Wicket. I was like, it looks, you've already made the new Ewok costumes so much more comfortable than they were in 1982 that they don't look the same. Now I'm supposed to believe that's the same face fur pattern as Wicket. I don't know that. How do I know that? I don't recognize people's cats after 2 years. What is this?
Yes, we do see
Rum Tum Tugger.
We see Wicket and
Skimbleshanks, the railway cat.
No,
sorry.
Don't talk about cats.
Pommet.
Wicket's
child is named Pommet.
If I may.
Yes, you may.
I have a reading from the... I just dropped my bookmark. It's okay.
Pommet's Lament.
Won't be needing that anymore.
The Book of Skywalker, verse 23, chapter 7.
Wicket's spawn shall rise and destroy
Lo, it was
the
behold.
Jedi Order.
Lo, it was foretold.
31 years ago, Wicket had stood in this exact spot on Endor's forest moon, rejoicing in the destruction of the Death Star. Does that check out, that math?
Wow, that's like 300 in Ewok years.
He'd been such a cub then, his fur was still a youthful brown.
Is he supposed to be like gray now? I thought his color scheme. Anyway,
he doesn't look gray at all. That's what's weird about it.
If you're Ewok, you can know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm pulling it up in another window. Actually, yeah, he is gray. He's got bushy gray hair.
Oh, okay. He should have had a big long beard.
He kind of does. Actually, he kind of it is like sticking out of his tunic a little bit, and I think that's part of why I don't recognize him. It's just all of a sudden he's got a Sons of Anarchy beard sticking out.
Should have had tattoos.
Colonel Sanders kind of thing.
Debris had rained down in the sky for a decade afterward, but life on Endor would never go quietly, and the moon fought back with lush verdancy. Little tip of the hat to the Endor apocalypse theory.
I was gonna say, didn't you think when you saw the Star Destroyer, they tried to make it look like realistic atmospheric patterns?
Yeah,
that was an homage to how the planet would have been destroyed previously.
Wicket pointed towards the sky as a chunk of Star Destroyer fell like a fiery comet. See that? He said to his tiny son Pommet. Our friends did that. Princess Leia? Pommet asked wide-eyed, for he'd heard all the stories. C-3PO? Wicket nodded. Well, C-3PO. He agreed.
Is that really what it says?
No doubt. Yeah. He had no doubt the golden godlike one was responsible for yet another deliverance.
I like that, but he should have just said, "Oh, look, did you see what C-3PO did?" Rather than
a little more swagger, just like
stuff into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Princess Leia, she was my girlfriend for a while, but if we're being honest, C-3PO led the rebellion.
So come, leading the sun back towards the village. There will be feasting and fireworks tonight. I know it's them.
Oh.
But yes, I love the idea that they still revere C-3PO as a golden god.
Pete, were you with me and Matt Belknap a few years ago when they had that Star Wars Battlefront game expansion where you could be Ewoks and murder stormtroopers?
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
That was like, I do wish that like at the last moment they showed like Pommet reach off screen and pull in just like a human leg and like take a big bite. Like it's just a honey ham.
Totally.
Another bit of trivia here.
Did C-3PO do that? Not now. Shut up and eat your stormtrooper.
Of course, Wicket is once again played by our old friend Warwick Davis, and Pommet is played by Harrison Davis, son of Warwick Davis. So there you go.
Cool.
Carrying on the tradition.
That kind of fan service is nice because it's not overt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Named Harrison, presumably after Harrison Ford.
Wow.
Yes. Then we cut to
Jakku.
Jakku. Why do they always want to go back to Jakku? But in this case, I like it's like poetry. It rhymes. We're back to exactly where we started. And now there's another Star Destroyer crashing. That place must be so sick of like, I don't know what it is about there that like things keep crashing there. And
why would there even be a fight over Jakku? It doesn't make any sense. Why would an abandoned desert planet be the source of like?
Well, it is a trading hub.
A trading hub. It's like a shack. And Uncle. This is one where I wish we had seen Uncle Pluck being like, "No!" and the Star Destroyer
I do remember
right on him, and he'd have no arms, of course, because Chewie pulled him off in the deleted scene.
But didn't you think, right? Like when you see the new Star Destroyer crashing behind the old one, and they're trying to be all poetic about that visual, there is kind of this vibe of, well, in Force Awakens, wasn't that supposed to be symbolic of how this was once a planet where people came? And now it's sort of like in the middle of nowhere and no one cares and people are just scrapping. Like it did feel a little too small universe for me to have a new Star Destroyer over a planet that felt like no one cared about it. That's what I thought Jakku symbolized to me, is just like scavenging and forgotten stuff.
To be fair, since they did have, they had activity there, they probably just posted like one Star Destroyer, just hang out there and watch that because we're like, all right, this is where Rey is from and we had to chase some people down over here. Remember, we shot Max von Sydow here, so let's just be careful. They stabbed him, right? They didn't shoot him, but they were like, let's just keep a garrison here just in case. So that's that. I wanted the one Star Destroyer to hit the other though. That was the other. If you're gonna just do it. Like make some weird kind of like Star Destroyer in another one kind of conglomerate.
Like a turducken.
Yeah.
It is very convenient that the Star Destroyers only seem to fall on planets that are uninhabited and won't be like
right.
We don't see all these big chunks landing on the moon of Endor and starting the apocalypse and stuff. It's only on Exegol and this planet, which is all, empty.
Even Jakku, I feel like this would kill millions of people. Like even if the population of Jakku is 2 million people, this is a big enough collision that it's going to destroy a third of the planet's population. Like it's just a huge thing that's just going to carve it up.
Yeah.
Totally should have added in like, Coruscant and like, yay, whoa! Like they're cheering for a second, and then they're like, whoa, 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 whoa!
Yeah.
And then, like the whole thing comes crashing down.
Yeah,
well, and then Jakku, the old one on Jakku looks like it like tried to land good, like it tried to land on its belly, right? Like it was coming in the atmosphere, and the guy was like, "Oh, hold on, everybody!" But the new one looks like it is straight up going to create a devastating genocidal level event. So I don't think they put enough thought into it. Visually, it was cute, but yeah. Ugh.
Oh, back to Endor for a second. We've got a report. We're going to go back to Endor for a second.
You mean the forest moon?
The forest moon of Endor, yeah. Well, back to the Endor system, if you will, because it's not on the planet, but off in the distance there. The Star Destroyer, did the Ewoks holdo maneuver a Star Destroyer? Because if you look, it has the same kind of spray pattern, and it looks like it's bisected. You see it slowly kind of falling apart. So I'm assuming that the Ewoks did that. That's Peplu just like, hyperspaced something right through that bad boy. He's a daredevil.
Yeah,
you're right.
His little kite. His kite went right through it.
Yeah, there you go. Strapped a hyperspace engine to his kite. Yeah, I'm not sure how they took that out. Well, I'm not presuming that they did, but whoever took out the Star Destroyer in the orbit of the fourth moon, the sanctuary moon, it looks like they holdo maneuvered it, so it wasn't really 1 in a million.
Unless they tried it another million times, and this was finally the one that succeeded.
True, fair. How many times? How many times?
I think they were just trying to anger the fans as much as possible by having Ewoks and the holdo maneuver in one shot. Because
this moment could not have been orchestrated with less intention. I think they just try to make fans feel this way about Ewoks. No, they like Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
They wanted to give Warwick Davis something nice. They were like, oh, this is a positive choice, and they never thought about it again.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that just having the one, going back to what you said, Alex, like, if we saw Lobot, if we saw people like, curtain call from people all around the galaxy, that's one thing. But the fact that it's just one, it does make it seem like, I know we throw around the term fan service a lot, but it's just like, oh, no, it's just totally like they wanted to do that for Warwick Davis. It's just fine. And we wanted to see, he was a major. He is that kind of,
He's great.
He is. But he's like that, like you got your big three, and then you've got, Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels, Billy D. Williams, Warwick Davis is kind of on that, second tier. Like, he's in a bunch of the movies. Yeah. People like him. He's, and so it makes sense to have him in there for that. You know what I mean? But like, it does seem, but he's been in all of these movies. So it's not like, it's like, well, we finally got that guy back. It's just like, wait, he was also like 3 other characters in this movie, I think. But nice to have Wicket. But also I agree that we should have seen more characters as they went around.
I would trade several of the new characters in this movie for more Wicket, simply because I would have been invested. It's hard to invest in new characters this far into an arc.
Let's assume we include Lobot and an Ugnaught. What other 3 characters would you have liked to have seen celebrating the end of the First Order?
From other, not to borrow too much from the special edition of Return of the Jedi, but I feel like they had to at least have considered Naboo.
No, right? No prequels will be allowed.
I really do think this would have been a smart, low stakes time to show Jar Jar. I am not kidding. I really feel like
I agree.
He's shown up already in expanded universe novels again as this like sad old kook, right? And like, I have a stand-up bit about this from 12 years ago, but like, I really feel like to show him as just like an old man, like, oh man, what is happening? Like that would have some weight.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not my choices for other characters.
Okay.
But I would do like,
who would you?
I would love somebody from Rogue One. It's hard because they all died, but I would love to loop in a Rogue One person because I think they would have a lot of stakes in this moment. I have a soft spot for Salacious Crumb. Yeah, get Mon Mothma in there. She's still alive, right?
Yeah, she's...
Yeah, they keep putting her in
we
things,
don't know,
I'm assuming.
Actually.
I would love to see Salacious Crumb having a beer watching it.
Right. Maybe Salacious Crumb with...
someone else who survived the sail barge explosion, just like they've got eye patches,
from, like a different thing altogether, like Salacious Crumb and like Ilan Slizbagano having a beer.
Yeah,
you see that? Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah,
I would have loved to see. You know what? The planet of Mon Calamari. We never see it. We got that other water planet jammed in there, Camino. Right. Like, let's see what it looks like on their planet. Those are. The squid people even got their own Mandalorian episode. Let's see what it looks like. The Akbar family. How are they mourning?
The corduroy men from what was that?
What?
Utapau. The corduroy men who were.
I can't remember which one Utapau is.
Utapau is where Obi-Wan rides a lizard.
Oh, right. And then General Wacky Arms.
Mm-hmm. That's his name.
Hello there. I would say I like the Naboo. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, and I just was gonna say, like, maybe cherry pick somebody from like Clone Wars or some other expanded universe who has yet to be brought to the big screen, which they're doing a lot of on Disney Plus now. But I feel like they've more than had an opportunity to like stick in. What was her name? I love her, and I'm so bad, especially since I had COVID. I can't pull trivia. What's the name of that character who was in the original Clone Wars cartoon? She's a Sith. She has like the lightsaber that goes down. Yeah,
Ventress.
Asajj Ventress.
Mm-hmm.
She was originally came from Darth Maul concept art of like what they thought he might look like. That would be awesome. Just fit her in there. Fit anybody like that in there would be really cool. That's my.
Surely she must be dead by now.
Well, maybe she is.
The power of the Force.
Maybe she is. I know, like Aura Singh is in Star Wars for 2 seconds, and there's like a whole story about how she's long dead or something.
Oh,
but like a pod racer. I don't know. Like, just have a little bit of fun with like those characters.
Bulba.
Yeah.
And Asajj Ventress never got to be live action. I think it'd be fun to just be like, wait, what? That would be better fan service than just doing a montage of like, all right, everybody, we're wrapping this up.
What about like Animal House stuff? We just cut to different people across the galaxy. Like Dexter Jettster, like successly turned his restaurant into a chain, and
I like it.
Was voted, food executive of the year in 24 ABY.
I do feel like Dexter Jettster is one of the prequel characters people hate the most. Not Jar Jar level, but I think he's in the top 10 of like what I've heard people complain about. Nerds.
Everyone I know loves
it. Feels very Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I complained about him at first, and then he fell into he crossed the line into he's
so
goofy
silly
enough that I can. Yeah, he's so ridiculous that I like him because I can reference.
Alex, I bulldozed you to say Asajj Ventress. What were you gonna say?
I think we briefly talked about it. Like, I would tend to go for characters that were more like, I want like Rogue One. I want like maybe a character from Solo to show up.
Yeah.
And also I was gonna say even from like The Mandalorian, but we don't know who's still alive at the time of the sequels, like from The Mandalorian. So it's hard unless you had like IG-88 or whatever, IG-11.
Well,
sorry.
Would have been interesting to do. Is this too much? If you started showing kind of flashback. So perfect. I got it. You do it here. You do it in reverse order, right? So instead of reverse it, you show somebody else you show like Pasana, and they're excited. That's from this movie, and then you go back in order in release order, reverse release order, and you show people from a planet that was only like you go to like Canto Bight and you see people doing that. Well, I guess in between you had to go to show somebody from Solo, show Canto Bight, show somebody from Rogue One somehow. Like, I don't know who, again, we'd have to find somebody who survived that. They still.
I loved Solo. I would love if people gave Solo more credit. That would be nice.
And then slowly you work your way back. You do, Revenge of the Sith. You do Attack of the Clones, and then you end on Tatooine, and you transition into the next scene. You end up with the Lars homestead. You go end up with some Jawas being like Utini, like pointing at a Star Destroyer, and then Rey flies in.
Would you do Hoth?
Probably, right?
Just General Reikian and a couple of Tauntauns still holding out.
Like,
condemned to stay on
super long gray hair and beard, like drinking a coffee with the little
rebellion abandoned us, but we've been in a little hut living off of Tauntaun blubber.
They'll come back
35 years.
And then the minute ends with Dio showing up. This is the only
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I assume you hate and despise Dio like all good people, Dan.
Is Dio the Dominic Monaghan character?
Dio is the little robot that comes rolling up to BB-8.
Oh, the JJ voice.
Yeah, the JJ
thing.
droid. Yeah.
He's just a big old pile of who gives a what. I don't really hate him, but it just felt like filler. I don't know. It's ugh.
Yeah, there's no real need. Like we already had a cuter, and it's like if they introduced a new Cousin Oliver, like in the same season as Cousin Oliver.
he's on the list of 8 unnecessary new characters.
Right.
And that's all I have for minute number 127. 127.
127. Well, we do get the begin. Well, we could talk about it tomorrow because we do get the beginnings of like a sequence of ships landing.
Yeah.
And I think it continues until tomorrow. So we'll step through it tomorrow a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then that's all I got.
All right. That'll wrap up minute 127. As we mentioned, we're getting close to the end of the season, and you're like, what am I going to listen to? What am I going to put in my ear holes that these guys yapping all day? And I suggest you go to moviesbyminutes.com. There you can find nerds like us. In fact, we've guest starred on, not guest starred, we were guest commentators on some of the shows. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, everything from Watchmen to My Dinner with Andre to Mystic Pizza and Titanic. All these shows have been covered. All these movies have been covered. And go to moviesbyminutes.com. You'll see the complete list, over 200 something at this point. And then come back and see us on another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.